When you're standing at the starting line of a dream that no one else can see, it's easy to feel like you're already behind. People glance at you like you're crazy. Some laugh, some stay silent, which can hurt even more. But here's the truth that no one tells you. The silence, the laughter, the doubt, that's your invitation. That's your moment to become something no one saw coming. And if you're smart, if you're really hungry, you won't fight that lack of belief. You'll use it. See, when nobody believes in you, there's no spotlight, there's no pressure, there are no expectations, you're free, you're under the radar, and that is the single greatest advantage you'll ever have. Because when nobody's looking, you can do the work that actually matters, you can spend hours making mistakes, you can build and break and rebuild without anyone watching. No one's there to judge the process, and that makes the process yours. It's personal, it's raw, and it's where legends are born. Most people don't understand what it really takes to do something extraordinary. They think success shows up after one good idea, one big break, one viral moment. But real success, the kind that changes your life and the lives of everyone around you, that comes from obsession. It comes from doing the same unglamorous thing over and over again until you're undeniable. And the moment you realize that nobody has to believe in you for that to happen, you become unstoppable. That's the beauty of starting from nothing. You don't owe anyone. No one is watching you with a stopwatch, waiting for results. No one is checking your stats. You're invisible, and that invisibility gives you time to sharpen your craft, build your endurance, and become someone they'll never forget. Because when they finally notice you, they won't be seeing the work you just started. They'll be seeing the result of years of grind they never cared about. You have to flip the script. Most people look at disbelief as rejection, as proof they're not good enough, but that's the wrong lens. When people don't believe in you, they're handing you a secret weapon. They're giving you the freedom to build without criticism. They're giving you motivation. They're handing you every reason to push harder, go deeper, and fight longer. And if you can channel that, if you can harness that doubt instead of letting it break you, there is no ceiling on what you can become. Let's be honest. Everyone wants the end result. Everyone wants the trophy, the views, the respect. But not everyone wants the years it takes to earn them. That's where belief gets tested. That's where most people quit because they thought support would carry them through. But if support is your fuel, you're already running on empty. Because real fuel, real drive, that has to come from you. From the version of you that wakes up before the world. That works when no one's watching. That doesn't post about the progress because it's too busy making it. And when you get that, when you finally see the power in being doubted, you stop looking for applause, you stop needing validation, you become something rare, a builder, someone who creates out of love, out of curiosity, out of madness, someone who does it because they can't not do it. And in that space, where it's just you and the work, you become dangerous, because while everyone else is trying to be seen, you're becoming great. There's something sacred about the early days of a dream. Those long nights when you're too tired to think, but too committed to stop. Those weekends where your friends are out and you're still grinding. Those moments when you question everything and still choose to keep going. That's the forge. That's where your future is shaped. And when no one believes in you, that forge gets hotter. The pressure gets heavier, and your resolve either breaks or it becomes bulletproof. The world loves a finished product. It loves success stories, but it almost always forgets the beginning. It forgets the doubt, the risk, the pain. That's why it's okay if they don't see you now. That's why you should embrace it when they underestimate you. Because when you start making noise, when your name starts echoing through rooms you never stepped in, they'll wonder where you came from. And you'll know. You came from the dark, from the quiet, from the days no one saw. You came from the late nights editing videos no one watched, the projects that flopped, the ideas that failed, the setbacks that made you question everything. That's where you were built. Not in the wins, but in the relentless pursuit when no one was clapping. That's what gives your success weight. That's what makes your story mean something, and here's what most people miss. Belief isn't supposed to come from them first. It has to come from you. You have to be the first believer. The first fan, the first lunatic willing to bet everything on a hunch. Because if you don't, no one else will, and if you do, eventually, everyone else will have no choice. So if nobody believes in you right now, smile. That means you still have something to prove, and proving it will shape you in ways comfort never could. That means you're still free to take risks, to move fast, to experiment. That means you're not boxed in by who they think you are. You can still become whoever you want, and when you finally break through, and you will, if you keep going, it'll be undeniable. They won't be able to ignore it. They'll call it overnight success. They'll call it luck. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it came from years of being invisible, from using every doubt as fuel, from learning to clap for yourself when no one else would. Because when nobody believes in you, you have two choices: shrink or grow. Hide or show up, break down or build up, and the ones who build, the ones who grow, they become the stories people tell when they need hope. They become the proof that you don't need anyone's permission to be great. There's a moment that hits you when you're chasing something big, something you can't stop thinking about, and no one around you gets it. You explain your vision, your goal, your plan, and they look at you like you're speaking another language. You can feel the weight of their doubt before they even open their mouths. It's in their silence, in their smirks, in the way they say, "That's interesting," when they really mean, "That's impossible," and it stings. Let's be real, it stings every single time, but that sting is a gift. That sting is pressure, and pressure is what makes diamonds. Most people run from pressure. They want comfort. They want validation. They want people to believe in them before they've earned it, but pressure is where the growth happens. If everything was easy, you'd never become someone worth noticing. When nobody believes in you, you're forced to believe in yourself louder. You don't have the luxury of soft days and easy wins. You have to hustle in silence and build without applause, and that's where the edge comes from. That's what sharpens you in a way nothing else can. Because when no one's watching, there's nothing fake about the work you do. You're not doing it for claps or comments or praise. You're doing it because you have to. That's a different kind of motivation. That's the kind of fuel that lasts. Likes and retweets fade. Viral moments disappear, but self-belief, that becomes the engine that keeps running even when everything else stops. People don't get it. They think success is about being seen. It's not. It's about surviving the stretch of time when no one sees you, when no one believes in what you're doing, and you still keep showing up every day without fail, without excuses, without waiting for someone to hand you permission. That's the secret. You have to outlast their disbelief. That's the quiet war you're fighting. Not just proving them wrong, proving yourself right. Every win you'll ever have begins in the dark, in the times when it's just you and the grind, when you've got a busted laptop, a low bank account, maybe even a few people saying you should quit, and still you show up. You study harder, you build longer, you fail faster. That's how momentum starts. Not with applause, but with obsession. And if you're not obsessed, you'll quit. That's the hard truth, because the grind will test you before it rewards you. You'll have to be okay being misunderstood. You'll have to accept that people are going to label you crazy, that they'll doubt your intelligence, your sanity, even your future. And in those moments, you've got two options. Let their words become your reality, or let them fuel your next level. Because what they say isn't truth. It's a reflection of their limits, not yours. The people who go the furthest are the ones who understand that silence doesn't mean failure. It means you're still underground, still building, still becoming, and while they laugh now, while they scroll past your work without a second thought, they have no idea how close you are, how deep into the game you already are, and when you finally emerge, you'll be too far ahead for them to catch up. But don't get it twisted, this isn't about revenge. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were never wrong to begin with, that the vision was real, that your instincts weren't lying. That the sleepless nights and the skipped parties and the broken moments were all part of something massive being born. That matters more than their approval ever could. It's easy to want people to support you right away. We're human, we want community, we want to feel seen, but if you rely on that too much, you give up your power, because what happens the moment they stop clapping? What happens when they don't see the vision anymore? If your belief is built on theirs, it crumbles the second they walk away. But if it's built on obsession, on purpose, on fire, no one can take that from you. That's why the beginning matters so much. That's why this part, the lonely part, the doubted part, is the most important chapter you'll ever live through, because it builds your foundation. If you can stay locked in when there's nothing but darkness, then you'll be unstoppable when the lights finally come on. That's when momentum becomes mastery. That's when the obsession becomes legacy. You have to learn to love the grind when it's quiet. You have to learn to fall in love with the process before it pays you back. That's where champions are made, not in front of cameras, not in front of crowds, but in rooms where no one is watching, doing work that no one sees, for results that don't come for years. That's how you get so good they can't ignore you. That's how you become the storm, and here's another truth they won't tell you. When nobody believes in you, it forces you to become resourceful. You learn to work with what you've got. You stop waiting for perfect gear, perfect timing, perfect conditions. You learn to move now with whatever you have, because waiting isn't an option, and that scrappiness becomes your superpower. It teaches you speed, creativity, grit, things money can't buy, things most people will never develop because they had too much too early. That's the paradox. The people with the most belief in themselves usually started with the least belief from others. Because they had to, they weren't coddled, they weren't spoon-fed praise, they had to build their confidence the hard way. Through trial, through fire, through failure, and that confidence is unshakable. It's not performative, it's earned. When no one sees your value, you learn to create it. You learn to shape it with your hands, your mind, your time. And eventually, the world has no choice but to pay attention. Because you didn't ask to be discovered, you made yourself impossible to ignore. And by the time they catch on, it's already too late. You've already built the thing. You've already won the war, so don't rush the spotlight. Don't chase the applause. Build in silence. Build with fury. Build with love. Build with obsession. Because every second you spend wishing someone else would validate you is a second you could have used to evolve. To level up, to work your craft, you don't need the world to clap for your seed. You need to water it every day until it becomes a tree they can't chop down. The truth is, most people don't believe in themselves, so how could they believe in you? They're scared of risk, scared of failure, scared of looking stupid, and when you step outside that fear, when you chase something they wouldn't dare touch, it triggers them, it makes them uncomfortable. That's why they doubt you, that's why they try to shrink you, but that's not your problem. Your job isn't to fix their fear, it's to conquer yours, because one day your story will be the reason someone else keeps going. Your journey, the one that started with zero support, zero applause, will light a fire in someone else who's stuck in that same dark place. And that impact, that ripple effect, it starts with you refusing to stop. So if today no one believes in your dream, good. That means you're exactly where you need to be. That means you've got the clean slate, the open runway, the ultimate advantage. Use it, build, obsess. Grow, fail, try again, keep moving. Because belief doesn't show up before success, it shows up because of it. And if you keep going long enough, there will come a day when the same people who doubted you will ask how you did it. And you'll smile, because deep down you always knew. The most powerful thing you can ever do is believe when nobody else does. Because if you can keep showing up in the silence, if you can keep building when no one is clapping, if you can keep fighting when no one is watching, then you become unstoppable. You earn a kind of strength that can't be faked. A strength that wasn't given to you, it was forged in every single moment they looked at you sideways. every time they told you to quit, every time they laughed under their breath when you said what you were going to do. You didn't break, you didn't fold, you used it. You turned rejection into rocket fuel. You didn't sit around waiting for someone to crown you. You went out and became undeniable. That's what this whole thing is about. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were right to start, right to stay, right to believe when nobody else did, because what they didn't see was your hunger, what they didn't feel. It was the fire you carried in your gut every day, what they didn't know was that while they were sleeping, doubting, laughing, you were building something so powerful they wouldn't even recognize it when it finally showed up. So no, it's not a curse that nobody believes in you at the beginning. It's your edge. It's your permission to be raw, to be real, to build without pressure, to get obsessed without judgment. And if you can survive this part, the silent part, the doubted part, then there's nothing you can't handle when the lights finally hit. The people who make it, they're the ones who didn't wait to be believed in. They kept going long enough to become the proof, and now it's your turn. So take the disbelief, take the silence, take the doubt, and use it. Because in the end, the only belief you ever needed was your own.